Okay. That's where it needs to be. Right. No! Suggest today this will probably be done in 2 streams. Break after the aim list. Did I press all of this? I think I did. Okay. Right. Yes. Okay. Impressive logic. That's what I'd like to say anyway.
Oh please, do. My brain is something else, especially in winter.
However, I think you are overlooking one thing. Miss Von Karma, would you be so kind as to take another look at the autopsy report?
The autopsy report?
The victim did fall from a height of 10 feet. However, this fall was after she was killed.
That's right. It says after death right here.
The scene the witness claims to have seen is contradictory. If the defendant stabbed and killed the victim there, in the courtyard, how did the victim then go on to take a 10-foot fall?
Order! Order! The victim was killed and then fell. That is the case. Then the victim must have been killed in her room. Don't you agree? That is the logical conclusion. Yes, that's right. The victim must have been stabbed by the defendant in her own room. And she was then thrown out of her window down into the courtyard below.
Were there any signs of a struggle in Miss Duxenim's room? She was stabbed with a sword. That would leave a blood stain, wouldn't you agree?
Well, Miss Von Karma, was there any blood?
Yeah.
No traces of blood were found in the victim's room.
Your witness just caused traces of blood to be found on my glorious playoff beard. However, if there was no blood in the room,
I'm sure there's no need for me to go over this, as I'm sure your Honor is well aware of when a stab wound produces the most blood.
It produces the most blood?
Very little blood is actually lost at the moment of a blade's insertion. If you want to talk about when the most blood would be lost from a body, that would be when the blade is removed.
Indeed. When the weapon is still in place, it acts like a lid on the wound.
That's true. With the weapon still in the body, there wouldn't be much bleeding. A perfectly reasonable line of thinking. We have come to a conclusion then. The victim was thrown out of the window with the sword still in place. This removes all of the contradictions.
Order, order, order! I must admit that this is a probable version of events. I'd expect no less from Francesca Von Karma. She locates and takes control of every vital point.
It seems that we need a clearer testimony from the witness. Remove all supposition on your part and tell us only the facts, please. Witness, please, remain standing on the crate. Don't go selling me short now. The weight of winter snow has bent me out of shape, especially my back and my mood. There. Sister, please give us your testimony. I will give you a vigorous massage once we are all finished here.
With the whip?
Oh boy. Alright, alright. When I looked across at the scene, the sword was already in place. Thinking about it now, I didn't actually see her stab Mr. Elise. I've never seen so much blood before. That's when I fainted. You can't blame me, can you? And when I awoke, Mr. Cammy was stabbing Mr. Elise through the back.
This all confirms Miss Von Karma's theory.
Von Karma strives. Von Karma's strive for perfection. Nah, Von Karma's strive for nothing but perfection. Putting together such facts is nothing for me. You should know that, Miles Edgeworth.
Perfection is an impossibility, Francesca Von Karma. And I'm here to teach you that. Blech. At that time, was the victim bleeding?
Well, I was very shocked to be seeing all this, of course. So I'm not entirely sure. But I don't think I saw any blood. Not then. I'm sure that you didn't. The weapon was acting as a plug in the wound.
In any case, let's be clear on one very important point. Did you actually see the instant in which the victim was stabbed? Yes, considering that the blood is on that blade, wouldn't plug any goddamn wound. Think carefully. This is very important.
It's Iris we're talking about here. I'm thinking for all I'm worth. No, when I looked over, the sword was already in Mr. Elise's body.
Might not be conclusive, but this testimony supports our theory.
The victim was stabbed in her room and then dropped into the courtyard. I think this proves it rather well, Miles Edgeworth.
So, you're saying that you saw the victim's blood?
That's right. Some of it had splattered onto Iris, too. When the defendant was arrested, she was meditating in her room. And her blood-flecked clothing was neatly folded in the corner.
What? Her clothes were blood-flecked as well? It seems to be quite conclusive to me. What should I do? Press this point further? Going back to your previous statement, you said that you saw little bleeding when the victim was stabbed, but now you say you saw the victim bleeding.
Oh well, I say that what I saw is what I saw.
What did you see?
Maybe I didn't see the poor woman get stabbed, but I saw the girl pull the sword out of her, plain as day.
Pulling the sword out?
Well, it wasn't exactly pulling. It was more like it came out.
Witness, you will add this statement to your testimony.
Oh, was that important?
More important than you can imagine.
I saw the instant in which the blade plunged into the hilt was smoothly drawn out.
Smoothly, you say? You're saying you saw the sword smoothly slide out?
That's right. The whole thing happened right next to the gold statue of Mr. Gammy. Mr. Elise was on the ground, and Iris was stooped over her. The sword was buried up to the hilt. When Iris stood up, The sword in her hand just slid out of Mr. Galisa's body. It slid out from that gaping wound. Ah!
Goes without saying that if the sword was removed, there would be bleeding.
Nothing out of place here.
Is that really the case? I can't help but feel that something about this testimony is very out of place. That something which couldn't possibly have happened appears to have happened. Was the bleeding caused by the killer removing the sword?
No mistaking it. I remember it all clear as day.
Don't you think that's a bit odd?
What do you mean, Miles Edgeworth?
Why would the killer pull out the sword?
What?
If all she wanted to do was place the weapon in the hands of the gold statue, then there was no reason to remove it from the body. All it would have accomplished is causing the victim to bleed unnecessarily. Your thoughts, Miss Von Karma?
That's...
Indeed, it is strange now that you mention it. You're going to need to find an answer to this mystery too.
Anyway, the witness saw something terrible. So what did you do after that, witness?
Now, on to what the killer did next. You saw none of it, correct?
Well, I was unconscious. How long were you out for? I don't know. 10, maybe 20 minutes? A young man with a very prickly looking head woke me up. They're stepping on me, actually.
Not sure I like that method of resuscitation.
Well, I wasn't asking for mouth-to-mouth or anything of the sort. But I would have welcomed a more gentle awakening right about then, let me tell you.
I shall have words with the offender, personally. What did you see upon awakening? By Mystic Amy, you are referring to the golden statue, correct?
Just stabbing someone with a Shichisato sacred treasure is terrible enough. But to then make Mystic Amy hold the blade. Truly, a heinous, despicable crime.
It is easy to despise something. It is easy to despise something. Anyone can do it. However, there is something that cannot be done so easily.
Whatever it is, I'm sure it's doubly hard for you. Anyway, what is the problem?
Exactly why would the killer set up this gruesome scene? Can anyone explain the reasoning behind that? No, I don't think I can.
There isn't always a logical reason behind why someone acts. That's true. So true. In early spring, for example, I often find myself...
There isn't always. That phrase might come in handy someday. There are too many unnatural elements in this case. Why was it necessary to use the Shichisato from the Ami statue as a weapon? Why was the weapon not being placed back in the hand of the statue? If I can expose the flaws in this testimony, perhaps then I will begin to find the truth. Sister Bikini, you are a reliable witness. At least, I'd like to think so. But there are too many contradictions here.
What do you mean? You make it sound as though I'm a liar. But you're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you. What contradictions are you talking about?
In the scene that the witness claims to have seen, the weapon was thrust up to its hilt into the victim. Furthermore, the killer withdrew the weapon smoothly from the body. However, Both of these are complete impossibilities. What do you mean? Please explain.
Explain yourself.
To start with, do you think it would be possible to stab someone to the hilt with this? No matter how I look at the defendant, she doesn't appear strong enough for that.
Doesn't appear? But meaningless dribble. I, too, may appear to be weak and frail, but I can crush men under my heel and make them weak, so should I so choose.
The objection stands. I wept a little back there, I must admit. That isn't the only issue here. If this sword was truly stabbed into the body up to the hilt, well, just look at all the branches on it. It certainly wouldn't come out smoothly. We also have the problem of the amount of bleeding. It's true that when a blade is left in a body, it acts as a plug of sorts. However, when the weapon is shaped like this, it's an entirely different story. The wound would be too large for the blade to completely stop the bleeding.
That's nothing more than conjecture. In reality, the victim was stabbed with a shishatato. Even a weapon of this nature may still sometimes slide out smoothly, and may still sometimes stop the blood loss.
I'm not finished. There is still one more conclusive contradiction. You've still got more? This one is simple. If this sword really was thrust in all the way to the hilt, why is there only blood on the tip of it? If this witness is telling the truth, then there should be blood along the entire length of the sword.
Oh.
Order!
Bravo, Miles Edgeworth. Raising this many contradictions from a single piece of evidence. All the other attorneys I know could maybe manage one, if that.
What does this all mean? You approve of contradictions regarding the murder weapon, but having come this far, there can only be one answer.
And that is?
The weapon used to kill the victim was not the Shichato. What?
A foolishly foolish idea, born from the foolish mind of a foolhardy foolish fool.
Let's examine this again. What was it that made us think this sword was the murder weapon?
Well, it's because Mr. Gami was holding it.
Exactly. However, if you reflect on this, that is the only basis we have to assume such a thing. The impression left by the scene was just too strong. That is what influenced us. It influenced us to believe that the Shishato was the murder weapon. Order! Ah!
So, maybe the Shishato was not the murder weapon. Even if that is the case, it changes nothing, Miles Edgeworth. The sister here saw everything. She saw the defendant stab the victim with a sword-like object.
That's true. Your response, Mr. Edgeworth? If that is so, I would like the prosecution to answer the obvious question it raises. The obvious question? Yes, namely, where did the real murder weapon disappear to? It goes without saying that the police searched the main hall and the surrounding area. Perhaps the prosecution can enlighten us as to if a sword-like object was found.
That's...
Answer the question, Miss Wongama.
No evidence of that kind was found.
Another mystery to throw onto the pile. I know that a murder weapon is a tricky beast.
Excuse me, Could I say something? I just remembered something, actually. What is it, sister? I was just thinking, it's possible that just maybe what actually happened was it was just over there.
What exactly are you going on about here?
The murder weapon, I mean. Maybe... I think I might know where the sword was disposed of.
You what?
Well then, I think we need to hear testimony from you one more time, sister.
Impossible. What else? What else could this old woman have seen?
I saw the murder weapon at around 11 p.m. and after asking that it be reported, I went out to the main gate. And there I saw tracks that indicated the snowmobile had been used. It takes 15 minutes to walk to Dusky Bridge, but less than 5 using one of those. Maybe they threw the weapon into Eagle River and came back while I was knocked out. Iris could have done that. She can drive a snowmobile after all.
Witness, please tell us everything you know right away next time.
Well, I'm not in the best of shape. What with my back and my age, you know. Quiet. There were indeed snowmobile tracks in front of the main gate. Here is a photograph.
Snowmobile, eh? I see. Well, it certainly is an interesting theory.
The tracks begin in front of Hazakura Temple and run all the way to the Dusky Bridge. That solves your pesky little problem, yes? The Eagle River's current is quite swift, meaning that it doesn't freeze over in winter, making it the perfect place to dispose of the murder weapon.
Did she really go to the river to dispose of the murder weapon? Mr. Edgeworth, cross-examination, please. You are sure about the time?
Yes, I was worried about it after all.
Why was that?
Because I have a strong sense of responsibility, especially at this time of year. The acolyte was being doused in freezing water at the time. I couldn't very well take it easy in the bath all night, now could I? So at 11 I decided to leave Hazakura Temple.
Your estimation of the time seems reliable, at least.
Please continue, sister.
You asked Phoenix Wright to report the crime, correct?
Right. The one who trampled me.
Seems she is the type to hold a grudge.
There isn't a phone in the main hall, so I sent him to the bridge. Phoenix Wright. He didn't even have his cell phone on him.
He had forgotten it at home, apparently.
What a naive boy, as always. Not only do I always carry my phone, but I always have my whip in hand, too. Anyway, I was really scared, and it was taking him a while to get back, so I thought I'd go out by the main gate for a spell.
As I recall, there was a snowmobile outside the main gate when I visited.
That's it. That's the only one we have. It'll run no matter how much snow falls.
You're certain the snowmobile was there at the main gate when you arrived?
Yes, of course. It was parked in front of the gate. So, she had already gone, discarded the murder weapon and returned by that time.
I'm not sure if this is really relevant. What should I do? I need answers to every possible doubt. The snowmobile in question, was it still warm at that time?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
What do you mean, eh?
What do you mean, Miles Edgeworth?
I'm playing to a slow crowd here. It goes without saying that using a snowmobile will heat its engine. If it was still warm, then it means it was recently used.
Ah, I see. I never thought of that.
Oh, that's right. Overlooked that too.
Of course you did.
Then answer the question, please, witness.
I don't know. I don't often go around touching hot engines. However, now that you mention it, there wasn't any snow on it.
Snow?
Yes, for some reason only the snowmobile wasn't covered in snow.
There wasn't any snow on it. Nurses. Seems highly likely that the killer did use the snowmobile then, eh?
How long does it take to get to Dusty Bridge by snowmobile?
In that case, why didn't you use it yourself? You could have spared yourself some walking.
There's a reason for that. Have you got a moment for me to explain?
I think that's why the question was asked in the first place.
It was about a month ago. I was driving my beloved little snowmobile, happy as can be. I'd fetched some water and was headed back when I went and crashed into a tree. The tree and my back both went crunch, just like that. Crunch.
Crunch.
I haven't been able to find the courage to ride anything since then. Anyway, the killer must have used it.
Refresh our memories. How long were you knocked out for?
Like I said, somewhere between 10 to 20 minutes. It's possible to get to the rescue. It's possible to get to the bridge and back in 10 minutes using the snowmobile.
I have to concede that it's more than half time.
Is that all you wish to concede, Miles Edgeworth?
While it would have been possible, time-wise, one element remains out of place here. Oh. And what would this mysterious element be? The killer's reasoning, Your Honor. Why did the killer do all of this? Why go to the evil river to dispose of the murder weapon when there are other methods? Too many unanswered questions. Your response, Miss Von Karma?
Turning to me for help over the slightest thing. Why don't you think for yourself once in a while, Your Honor?
What? She's as over the top as always.
Anyway, whatever the reason, the fact remains that the defendant could have done this. The murder weapon was disposed of in the river. Another point to me, Miss Miles Edgeworth.
Another mystery to feed the fire. Was there any reason to go and throw away the murder weapon? Luckily, there is surely a problem with this testimony. Now all I have to do is start poking holes in this flawed account. I admit this photograph proves something. It proves that the snowmobile was used on the night of the murder.
You've finally accepted the inevitable, it seems, Miles Edgeworth.
However, if what the witness says is true, then why is there only one set of tracks?
What do you mean?
Iris left Hazakura Temple, threw the weapon into the river, and then returned. If this was the case, then naturally there should be two sets of tracks in the snow. Those from heading out to the bridge, and those from coming back.
You're right. You are forgetting one thing, Miles Edgeworth. On the night of the murder, it was snowing. The tracks leading to the bridge were erased by the snowfall. This removes your process contradiction now, doesn't it?
I see. While she was at the river, the snow stopped. Even just the return tracks in the snow.
What do you have to say now, Miles Edgeworth?
Is there a flaw in our theory? This idea that the snowfall covered one set of tracks. The tracks to the river were covered by snow. What a nice theory. However, Miss Von Karma, that is impossible.
But you care to explain? Why there is a rude index finger currently pointed in my general direction?
No need. The evidence will do all of the talking for me. On the night of the murder, the killer went to and returned from Dusky Bridge. In order to dispose of the murder weapon, the outgoing tracks were erased by snow. Or so claims Miss Von Karma. Mr. Edgeworth, present your evidence to the contrary, eh? Evidence that the outgoing tracks were not covered by snow. Witness, please tell us again what time it was when you witnessed the crime.
Like I said, it was around 11.
Of course. This means that the weapon was thrown away after that time, correct? On that note, please take a look at this data. It is the weather report for Eagle Mountain on the night of the murder. The weather report? Snow started to fall at 7 p.m, but it stopped at around 10:50. Therefore, when the sister witnessed the crime at 11, the snow had already stopped falling. It is impossible for any tracks made after that time to have been covered up. Order! Order! Very well then. Looks like Miss Von Karma's claim has been snowed in. Ah!
It's too soon to be closing this trial due to snow. Miles Edgeworth, how pathetic of you to rely on the weather of all things. Answer me this then. When is a weather report ever correct?
No, you got it all wrong. This isn't a forecast. This is actual data.
Forecast data. All weather reports have some inaccuracies. It may have still been snowing in the vicinity well past 11 p.m.
It's true. We cannot be totally sure, eh? What? How did she pull that off? It had stopped snowing at Hazakura Temple when the murder took place. You need to provide conclusive evidence of this. We've come this far. There's no turning back now. Very well. I, too, cannot allow any doubt to remain concerning this testimony.
You can't back down now, can you? Such a perfectionist, Miles Edgeworth.
Very well then, Mr. Edgeworth. Where is your evidence that it had already stopped snowing when the victim was killed? Ultimately, it all comes down to one point. That being, whether or not it was snowing in that courtyard when the victim was stabbed.
That's right. But proving that is
incredibly easy. If we want to know whether it was snowing or not, this photo will tell us everything. Of course, I'm referring to the photo of the crime scene. As you can see, everything is covered with snow, with just one exception.
And that is?
The victim herself, Miss Elise Duxenim. Why is there no snow on top of her? The answer is simple. It had stopped snowing when she was killed, that's why. In other words, if the killer really did go to the Eagle River to dispose of the murder weapon, then in this photograph there should be 2 sets of tracks. Order! Order! Just what are you...
Just what are you suggesting, Miles Edgeworth?
To be honest, I'm not entirely sure myself, but this is simply what all of the facts point to. That night, someone used the snowmobile to leave Hazakura Temple. From the tracks left, it can be understood that they were headed for Dusky Bridge. At that time, it was still snowing.
Of course it was, because those tracks were erased by the snow.
Then, when this person returned to Hazakura Temple, the snow had stopped. Thus, the return tracks remained.
Can I say something? This all sounds a bit fishy to me. But it does, sister. There is only one key for the snowmobile. Furthermore, on the night in question, we know that the defendant had it. The key was found in her room after the murder. Which can only mean that night, Iris used the snowmobile to go to the inner temple.
But Iris said that she never went there. I should probably press on this point some more when I get the chance.
The snowmobile can't cross the suspension bridge. So she must have left it on the Hazakura side of the bridge and crossed on foot.
It sounds right.
But what's odd is, when I left Iris and returned to Hazakura Temple, I didn't see anything near Dusky Bridge. You must have just failed to see it, sister. Maybe, but when I made it back to Hazakura Temple, it was there, by the main gate. The snowmobile, I mean. I know what I saw. It was covered in snow, too.
Well, that isn't possible. Order, order, order in the court. What does this order mean? So then, what was the snowmobile used for? It wasn't taken by the defendant when she went to the inner temple. If it had been, then the witness couldn't possibly have seen it by the gate. Furthermore, it wasn't used by the killer to dispose of the murder weapon. If that was the case, there should be 2 sets of tracks in this photo. All we know is this. After it stopped snowing, someone used the snowmobile to return to Hazakura Temple. I never thought a simple snowmobile could cause so much trouble. I think we've learned all we can from this witness.
Yes. I have nothing more to add. Told you everything that I know.
But then, that still leaves us with the same problem. If only there was someone, a witness who could testify to having seen the snowmobile. A witness, huh? Was there no one out walking, perhaps near Dusky Bridge on that night?
I don't think that's likely. It was cold enough to freeze your ears off. Only an idiot would go out wandering in that. Unless they had something really important to do.
That's a shame. Hold on. Something is coming to me. An idiot may well have gone wandering out on that subarctic night. Your Honor? Actually, there just might be one individual who may be of help to us.
Really? you know someone who might have seen the snowmobile on the night of the murder?
I don't know for sure if he saw it or not, but there are two things about him that do come to mind.
Which are?
First, that he saw something incredible on the night of the murder.
And the second being?
This individual that I'm thinking of went wandering outside on that cold night. In other words, he is our kind of idiot.
Mr. Edgeworth, who is this idiot you're talking about? This guy must be a product of Jean-Luc Deludac's Guide to Obnoxious French Painting.
This is Larry Butts, a disciple of the victim Elise Duxenham.
A student? Interesting. And why was he wandering about outside on the night of the murder?
That's... I could tell them all about his designs for Iris. But it may cost us his credibility as a witness before I even call him. He is, after all, an artist. He was perhaps searching for something in the snowy scenery that would move him. Although I cannot guarantee that this is the reason.
And so, this unfortunate, unreliable-looking man, what exactly was it that he saw?
I intend to extract that from him right here in this courtroom.
Summon this youth as a witness immediately. I have no choice, do I?
I believe he's in the gallery for this trial. It will not take long to summon him.
Very well.
Larry. You may have escaped me yesterday, but today I'm going to get everything out of you.
The court will now adjourn for a 20-minute break. Miss Von Karma, please see to prepare the next witness. Understood, Your Honor. Good. Well then, court is now in recess.
I was right to stop when I did yesterday.
Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm not really sure what to say.
Iris, we only have 20 minutes. There are two things which I need to ask you before we reconvene.
Alright, I'll help. I'll help you any way I can.
First, about that night. You really didn't go to the inner temple, correct? The last witness claims to have met and talked with you in the training hall. Either you or Sister Bikini is lying.
Mr. Edgeworth, it is just as I said yesterday. Until the incident occurred, I was in my own room in Hazakura Temple.
Very well. The second thing then. That night, the temple snowmobile was used in between the time Sister Bikini returned to the main hall and when she bore witness to the murder. Sometime between 10:30 and 11 PM that night. Were you the one who used the snowmobile?
There is only one key for the snowmobile. The only person who could have used it was me.
So it was you. But why? What made you go out to the dusky bridge?
I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth.
Iris.
Can't tell you about that yet.
Yet?
Not until her safety is confirmed.
What?
The safety of the Acolyte.
The Acolyte, huh? She must be talking about Maya. Iris, look me in the eye and tell me the truth. Did you kill Elise Duxenim?
No matter who or what may come, I could never take her life.
As I thought, no psychologs. Very well. It is my job to get to the truth. You'll discover this for yourself soon enough. Court will now reconvene. Miss Von Karma, where is the witness?
During the break, a man was detained for suspicious behavior in the gallery.
Suspicious behavior?
He was sketching something very intensely.
Dare I ask what the witness was sketching when he was detained?
He drew a terrifying woman, armed with a demonic face and a vicious whip.
I can only presume that his intention to...
Yeah. Anyway, it's time to drag this pathetic excuse for an artist before the court. Loris Duxenim, I hope you're ready. Get in here.
It would seem that whip is going to see plenty more use today.
Ouch! Your sketch is in contempt of this court. Hey! I was just ouch! You tried to run away from the bailiff who was trying to hand you your subpoena, correct? Look! I'm not a virgin artist training out in the mountains. I'm only down here in the city because I run out of green paint. Oh, to use the technical term for the colour, viridian.
Larry, this isn't an art store now, is it?
I know. I graduated junior high too. Junior high, okay? Look, art is all about working in the fields, isn't it?
Working in the fields? I presume he wanted to say field work. I hope.
That's it. Thanks, buddy.
It's kind of sad that I was able to understand his mangled train wreck of a sentence.
I just happened to stop in here and found a wonderful new model. So see, I got nothing to do with this trial at all. I expect all of your faces to be red when you realise this mistake. Bright red. Or, to use the technical term, Crimson Lake. Ouch! Oh, ouch! Oh, ouch. Stop your pathetic babbling and testify like a man. Oh, refrain from whipping me, Miss Karma. Cross-whipping is as bad as cross-checking. Witness, this was all your fault. Testify now. This is too much for me. I was at that lodge out in the mountains, looking up at the stars that night. I walked to the bridge a number of times, but I didn't see a snowmobile. I didn't see anyone at the bridge that night either. The girl I was waiting for didn't show up. My teacher died on me. I'm all alone now, aren't I, Edgy? Witness, please refrain from directly talking to the lawyers during your testimony. I'm just a nobody, nothing but a small worthless man, aren't I? Why wasn't I asked for my name and occupation or anything else?
Mr. Edgeworth, this man seems to have quite a severe inferiority complex. He has recently been the cause of numerous incidents. I think he's finally realised for himself just how much of a nuisance he has been to other people.
Yeah, that's right. I'm behind everything. Every case. Watch out, okay? Just touching me will make you eternally unhappy.
Very well then. Let us proceed with the cross-examination with no touching, thank you. We can delve into other details at a later time. Whatever is the matter, Mr. Edgeworth? This one single statement is so full of contradictions. For a moment there, I thought I was going to collapse.
So, Witness, any idea as to where these contradictions in your testimony lie? Depending on your answer, I may stay my whip.
Okay, give me a minute. Well, it wasn't snowing that night, so I couldn't possibly have... It was snowing that night, so I couldn't possibly have seen the stars. That rundown shack is hardly a lodge, is it? And even if the stars could be seen, it isn't like I was there to look at them, right?
See? You can do it if you try.
Ouch!
There is only one issue here. What you saw at Dusky Bridge.
A number of times. How many? Maybe 5 times. I went once every 20 minutes. Which means you spent almost 2 hours at Heavenly Hall that night. You bet. Real love is about waiting with your heart in your hands. Love, you say? It was this man's intention to summon the defendant to the small shack, using this blackmail letter. Blackmail? No, that was simply a product of overflowing love.
You huffy, puffy, loosey-goosey excuse for a whimpering, whining wuss of a witness.
So, what did you see? I hope for your sake you saw a snowmobile. You huffy, puffy, loosey excuse for a whimpering, whining wuss of a witness, eh? Well, you see... Being called those names doesn't seem to bother him at all. Larry, you really didn't see it? Hey, no need to hear your desk. I can hear you. I didn't see it. I didn't see it as a snowmobile. Larry, say snowmobile for me, please. Snowmobile. If you truly have nothing to hide, then why are you stammering like you just flew over a cuckoo's nest? Shut up! What is this? I don't know. Don't ask me. Seems that I need to start from a more obvious contradiction. I'm going to strike the blow that will finally get him to spill the beans. You didn't meet anyone. That's right, because I got nothing to do with this. And I'm just here to buy some Viridian paint, okay? Come on, I expect to see those Crimson Lake faces now. It would appear that simply pressing him isn't going to be enough, Mr. Edgeworth. Indeed. It seems that he's going to claim to have nothing to do with this till the end. I don't want this guy to cost us any more time. I need to slice through his obvious contradictions and keep things moving along. Oops. Larry Butts. I can understand why you might want to throw your old life away. You're pretty pathetic and you cause all sorts of trouble. I'm sorry. But, having realized just how much of a nuisance you have been, that could be considered a step in the right direction. Edgy, are you trying to console me? Certainly doesn't sound that way to me. However, I cannot forgive you for simply turning away from the incident you create. What? You're totally pinning this on me. Now then, let us talk about the night of the murder. Sister Bikini, after seeing the murder take place, asked Phoenix Wright to report it. Thus, he headed for the public phone by the bridge. There, he happened across a certain nefarious individual. You, Larry Butts. That's right, me in the flesh. Listen carefully, witness. Listen carefully, witness. It doesn't matter if you change your name. So long as you remain pretty pathetic, you will continue to cause those incidents. That reality will not change. But what do you want me to do then? Larry, what you need to change is your inner self. But for now, what you saw that night, testifying truthfully about this one issue, is all I need from you. Edgy, I think I've finally woken up. Well, I guess I could still be sleeping. But anyway, I'll do it. I'll testify. I'm not sure this will go especially well. I'll ask again then, witness. What did you see on the night of the murder? I went to the shack at around 9, so it would have been about 10:30 p.m. I was lying under my bedding when a white flash almost blinded me. I looked out the window and Dusky Bridge was on fire. There was still some thunder, but I went right away to check it out. That's when I ran into Nick. You certainly saw quite a lot, didn't you?
So, what happened to the bridge after it caught on fire?
It was like me after a 3-day stint chasing a girl. It's totally burnt out, like almost totally gone. I mean, trying to cross the burning remains was what caused Nick to fall.
What did you say?
Oh, don't worry, it's nothing life-threatening. He just caught a cold.
I never knew with that man if he should be called lucky or unlucky.
Now, Mr. Edgeworth, please commence your cross-examination. What did you do out there in the cold for an hour and a half? Well, if you really must know, I was busy being excited, I guess. Excited? Dare I even ask? I set the meeting time as 10 p.m, right? But I couldn't wait, and I thought she might come early too. Well, it appears she didn't come at all in the end.
Because they never arranged to meet in the first place, did they?
Shut up! Don't go picking my fond memories apart! Anyway, I was getting a little worried. I thought maybe Iris had lost her way. So every 20 minutes or so I went out to the bridge. But I didn't see anything particularly suspicious. I didn't have anything else to do, so I went back to the shack to wait for her. This light was, of course, lightning. Like, kapow! Like a slap from Naomi, honestly. A big bada-boom.
Or a little like that.
That's more like a punch from Miranda. Witness, did you actually see the lightning hit the bridge? Well, I was a bit startled by the flash of light, so... Seeing that, what did you do? What do you think? I was burning up as well, from the fire in my heart.
And that's why you went to take a look at the bridge?
Well, to be honest, it was freezing cold, so at first I thought, forget it, I'm not leaving my covers. But it had pretty much stopped snowing, so I don't know, I changed my mind. I'm not sure I care for the forget it attitude you have. There. I'm not sure I care for the forget it attitude you had at first, witness. Keep saying witness instead of witness. Ugh. Freaking wrong karma. You said right away, but exactly how long after the strike was that?
The lightning fell and then the bridge caught on fire. Maybe around 5 minutes? I mean, I suddenly thought, gotta go check this out.
How far is this small shack you were in from the bridge?
Hold on. Well, it had pretty much stopped snowing. I guess about a 5-minute walk.
And how did Dusky Bridge look when you got there?
Like I had recovered a piece of my childhood. I mean, not even the bonfire kids made during school camping trips can compare.
Well, should I press him for a little more info? Larry, let me ask you one thing.
What is it, Edgy? What's with the serious face?
Why didn't you call anyone?
Huh? What do you mean?
Normally, when faced with a towering inferno, one would try and tell someone. There is a public phone right by Dusky Bridge, correct?
Well, of course I thought of doing that. So then, let's hear why you didn't. Huh? Yeah, okay. The reason. My reason. It isn't that I didn't try to tell anyone. I just didn't have time to, okay?
You claim to have arrived at the bridge at the same time as Wright.
Yeah. I thought I'd better tell someone about this. But then Nick came up yelling about murder. Totally made me forget about the bridge. The fire was pretty much out by then anyway.
What's this feeling? I suddenly have a terrible case of unease.
It was after contacting the police that Phoenix Wright fell from the bridge, correct?
Yeah, that's pretty much it, more or less.
You told me about the burning bridge yesterday, but there's still something that doesn't quite fit. It looks like, despite his change of heart, Larry still isn't telling us the whole truth. Your very existence being a contradiction, I'm not sure if you can grasp this or not.
What the hey, Edgy? You make me sound like some sort of alien.
But your testimony is conclusively contradictory. The problem here is time.
I've never been the best timekeeper, you know. 3 minutes after Billy leaves on foot, you follow him on your bicycle. How long does it take for you to catch up with him? Terrible those.
This is much more simple. You saw the lightning strike Dusky Bridge, and immediately went to see what had happened. Is this correct?
Yeah. Oh, I wasted about 5 minutes first, but more or less.
I have the weather data for the night of the murder here. According to this, the lightning fell at 10:45 p.m. You say it takes less than 5 minutes from the shack to Dusky Bridge, meaning you probably got there at around 11 p.m.
That all sounds about right, I guess. And then Nick showed up and did his fallen act.
That is impossible.
What do you mean?
11 p.m. is when the murder occurred at in Hazakura Temple. Thus, Wright was still there in the courtyard. There is no way that Larry could have encountered him at Dusky Bridge at that time.
Excuse me, I have an objection.
You do?
Edgy, how many times do I have to say this? I'm not Larry. I'm Larry Stookson.
It has not been proven that the murder occurred at 11 p.m. The sister only said around 11. In which case, it could have been earlier than that.
Watch your footing there, Miss Francesca von Karma. The slope ahead is slippery. Well, there is still no way that Wright could have been at Dusky Bridge at 11 p.m.
I not?
It is clearly written here in the weather data report. It took around 30 minutes for the bridge to burn out. Therefore, the bridge must have been burning until at least 11:15 p.m. Which means, what exactly? Wright did not see the bridge while it was being consumed by the flames that night. In fact, he did not arrive on the scene until after the flames had died down. Larry, you arrived at the bridge at 11 p.m, but Wright did not make it there until at least 11:15. I suggest you stop hiding things and just tell us the whole truth. Now then, what happened during those missing 15 minutes?
I feel like I just got brutally woken up by a toilet splashback. I guess I was still sleeping after all. Pinch me. Order.
So, there was a missing 15 minutes prior to meeting Phoenix Wright. I hardly see that as much of a problem.
Yeah, not much of a problem at all.
Really? The bridge is burning before your eyes, and there is a phone right next to it. Why, then, did you not report the accident?
Yes, witness. Why didn't you?
Were you there simply to watch the bridge burn? And therein lies the problem. For even after the bridge burnt out, you were still there. Staring into space, this witness didn't even attempt to fulfill his civic duty.
That's what it sounds like.
But this is Larry we are talking about, and even he is incapable of being so stupid. Which means there has to be a reason for his inaction.
Edgy, I think it's about time I got serious with you, dude.
Just as I thought. You've been playing with us all this time.
Listen, I'm going to tell you everything. Are you sure you want to hear it all?
Yes.
I may really say...
Then say it.
Very well. I have a terribly bad feeling about this, however. Let's have the witness finally give us the whole truth. Now, for this 15-minute gap, what were you doing, witness? I'm a dukes in him. I'm an artist. What do you think I was doing? Sketching in front of the bridge. I was whipped up into a frenzy of art. And the shock and awe that I was feeling, I transferred it all directly onto the page. Before I realised it, the flames had gone out, and then he came running up. Ugh. I suppose artists can be strange folk. That's right. I'm willing to sacrifice everything in order to draw the perfect sketch.
Including the truth from the sound of it.
Mr. Edgeworth, has this removed the last of your doubts?
Not at all, Your Honour. One very large doubt still remains.
And what would that be?
This is a surprisingly believable story, especially considering the source. So why did he think he needed to hide it from us until now? I intend to drag the reason out of him.
You'll regret this, Edgy.
Tell us, Larry.
My name is Larice. Get it right. Mistakes like that are what keeps you from being popular with the ladies like I am. Just who exactly are you? I'm Maurice Dukesonham, apprentice extraordinaire.
And that's what he calls himself in any case. You are an artist? Of course I'm an artist. The real thing. Yet again, that's what he calls himself.
Names mean nothing. There is only one issue I care to discuss. What were you doing?
This is a very big issue indeed. Sketching the burning bridge. The burning bridge and everything that came with it. What came with it? You want to hear this from my lips, do you, Reggie? You'll regret this. The sketch mine.
Enough. Just take that ridiculous sketch of yours out already, Witness.
What are you talking about? I don't know what you mean. Does indeed appear to be the fastest solution. I'll leave it to you, Mr. Edgeworth. What should I do? I've got a terrible feeling that the instant this sketch is revealed, the entire world may be changed by what is depicted there. Larry, I wonder if you could show us your sketch, please. Oh, well, even I couldn't have imagined it to turn out like this. Imagined what? The Reese Duxamin's debut would take place here, today like this. Ouch!
Show it now.
Okay, but still yourselves. This is the world of Larice Duxanim. Well... So this is Dusky Bridge, correct? Quite a large bridge, isn't it? Your response, Miss Von Karma?
Yes, well... It's a better drawing than I expected.
Isn't it? Isn't it? I struggled to reproduce those flames. I really did. Yes, I'm sure you did. This is going to get ugly. No one has the courage to bring it up, it seems. This mysterious flying object. Larry? What? The burning bridge is fine, but what is that unfortunate looking figure? You spotted that. I thought you might. However much I might want to ignore it, I can't. Cyrus, of course. Iris. I wish she'd taken better care of herself. We have to plan for our future, you know. What would have happened to her if she had injured herself flying like that? Larry, please, answer this next question honestly. Okay. Are you really claiming to have seen this? Are you claiming to have seen the silhouette of the defendant flying over a bridge that was engulfed in flames? Yep, that's what I saw. That's why I drew it. I'm an artist. A real artist. Oh, you... Hi. The girl, she's really high up in this picture. Ugh, what was that for?
This is all a bad dream. I was hitting you on the cheek to test that theory.
Please whip your own cheek from now on if you wish to test your wild theories. Anyway, no court of law will ever acknowledge that people can fly.
Actually, there is some precedent for this.
She was flying pretty high, my sweet Iris. She was about 30 feet above the bridge, at least. It was really something to see. This has to be some kind of mistake. Mistake? Mr. Edgeworth, please bring the witness back down to earth. What? Me?
This witness is your friend, is he not? Accessory to foolishness, Miles Edgeworth.
Let us get back to the cross-examination, a force if necessary. Mr. Edgeworth, I expect you to expose the obvious contradiction here. Yes, Your Honour. Looks like I've got another reason to remember this moron. Oh, what do you think of my debut piece? Just get that thing away from me. Now, hurry up and cross-examine him. Examine him. Just where did you see this sight from? Hey, no need to shout. When I was lying in bed in that run-down shack, the crack of the lightning bolt made me realise that the bridge was burning. I just watched it for a while from there, thinking how nicely it was burning. Then after about 5 minutes I saw it.
The defendant flying.
That's right. That's when I decided to go to the bridge. See, it all makes sense. Aside from the sketch itself. Yes, this sketch doesn't make any sense. I just need to convince the artist that his work is ludicrous. You transferred everything directly onto the page, and that is this sketch here. Yep, sensational, isn't it? Or should that be scandalous? It put my mind at ease anyway.
It did.
That's right. The reason she didn't come to me, even though I waited for her, was because she was trapped on the other side of the bridge. Could it be the iris? Undertook that dangerous, desperate flight in order to reach me? It's gotta be it. Right, go me! Oh!
Continue, please.
You forgot the passage of time to that extent, did you? Well, once I get caught up in something, I tend to forget everything else. That's true, he's always been that way. I guess he's not lying about that, at least.
Phoenix Wright appeared on the scene after 11:15. If he was drawing until then, that dispels all doubts.
Aside from the doubts of his humanity, eh? There is a big clue waiting for me in this cross-examination. This testimony does nothing less than mock the court. But I am sure that there is a vital kernel of truth hidden in it somewhere. Oh, my head. It's so... Larry, what did you really see that night? Not that I particularly care. Your position, that's just being irresponsible. I drew exactly what I saw. I'll give you a whole $1 that it's the truth. If that is truly the case, then there is one thing that we can say for certain. What might that be? That the person who flew over the bridge could not have been the defendant Iris. What? What do you mean? I don't understand. Ugh.
A foolhardy folly of a foolish statement by an equally foolish, foolhardy fool. How exactly can you make this claim?
Tell us, Larry, according to this picture, the individual whom you say you saw wearing a hood, you say you saw was wearing a hood, correct? Of course she was. That rundown shack is quite away from the bridge. Bird is what told me that this floating angel was my Iris. Bird is my darling Iris, and Iris is my darling Hood.
It seems there are bigger fools in this world than the ones in the defense's bench.
Larry, that's something you need to be made aware of. On the night of the murder, Iris wasn't wearing a hood. She had given it to Wright as a gift. Are you going to change your story now? Perhaps suggest it was Wright who took flight. What are you talking about? I think you understand what I mean just fine. Why? Why did Nick have Iris's hood? What? Edgy, what's going on with Iris and Nick? Why, you Nick, you dog! I do believe that this unbelievably mysterious sketch is destined to disappear, discredited and discarded straight into the garbage. Huh.
What is it now, witness?
Feels like I've been waiting 25 years for this very day to come. Edgy, today is the day I get to completely stupefy you. What? What is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of your outburst, witness? I hate to have to do this, but I have some definitive evidence. Definitive?
Evidence?
Iris did indeed come flying over the burning bridge. And I, Larry Stokes and him, shall prove it. I don't expect to ask this again, but we shall be needing your testimony once again. Tell us anything you know concerning the defendant as depicted in this sketch, and show us your evidence that this nightmare was actually a reality. Okay, I hope you're ready, Edgy, because I'm going to feed you a whopping serving of pain. You've been serving us a whopping serving of pain this whole time. Trust me. When I reached Dusky Bridge, she was already gone. I was so worried, so I frantically searched all over for her. That led me to finding a beautiful crystal sphere, half buried in the snow. I'm sure that Iris was simply wearing a spare hood. After all, no one else could have lost a crystal sphere that night. Crystal sphere? This one. Pretty, isn't it? But finders keepers.
That sphere. Where did you find it?
Well, let me see. Around here somewhere looks about right. And it was half buried in the snow. Pretty much stopped snowing by then. There was still some falling as I walked to the bridge. The court accepts this crystal spear. It's mine, okay? I want it back afterward. There's something on it. Oh my, it's blood. What? Blood? You ready, Edgy? By tomorrow morning you'll be calling me Master Larry. Yeah, I like the sound of that. No one's going to push me around anymore. Didn't you want to be called Larry Stokes and him only a few minutes ago? So, you went to the burning bridge. That's right, to meet Iris. She actually flew to get to me. The least I could do was meet her halfway. Well, the defendant was not at the bridge when you got there, you see. I guess she went back to Asakura Temple. She's a girl after all. She must have wanted to look her best. It must be lovely to live in the fantasy land of Larry's mind. Actually, it's so depressing that I can't even work up the energy to point. So, what did you do next? So you searched all over for her.
She was flying pretty high, you know. I thought maybe she slipped on her landing and got hurt. Hey, it was more than possible. Also, when I headed out to the shack the first time, I was snacking on a banana. I was pretty sure I threw the peel away somewhere around there, so you know.
Can one guy really be this stupid? So, did you find any sign of a so-called landing?
I don't really remember. I kept on falling over myself and I kind of lost it for a while there.
You fell over yourself?
Yeah, the snow was deep and there was even a banana peel out there.
Yep, there's stupidity and then there's Larry Butts.
The short of it is that you didn't find any sign of a landing, correct? And what happened next?
Half buried.
It was sitting in the snow with a little gathered on top of it. It was very hard to spot actually. I mean, it was dark out there too.
I'm impressed you did well to find it.
No matter what you may think, when you look at me, I am a pro, a genius security guard. I used a pen light I borrowed from my company to help in the search. And it sparkled really brightly as if it was saying, "Here I am" to me.
It does indeed look very much like the crystal seal on Iris's hood. But need I remind you that she was not wearing her hood that night? Each nun is assigned their own hood, and they are assigned only one.
I don't know anything about that, okay? And Iris is special, right dude? Even if you did steal the spare hood, I'll forgive her.
This is getting us nowhere. Our destination for the day, it seems. However,
this crystal sphere was found near the bridge. That is a fact. If it didn't come from a hood, where could it have come from?
and that is the question I aim to answer. Let me confirm this one last time, Larry. And the reason you thought that this was Iris are the hood and this crystal sphere, correct?
That's right. My gut is never wrong. I met that old bikini the next morning. And her crystal sphere was still there, safe and sound.
Indeed.
She was wearing it in this very room earlier today.
This case isn't going to end without a fight. Exposing the obvious contradictions in this testimony will be easy. But I fear that all that awaits us are further mysteries. Larry, that night, there was someone who lost a crystal sphere.
There was? Who? Who was this stupid idiot?
Miss Elise Duxenim, the mentor to a stupid idiot.
The victim?
I have a photo of her here. And on the end of her staff, you can see a familiar-looking crystal sphere.
Hey! That's my photograph! Give it back! Ouch!
A crystal sphere like that is quite easy to find. I have one just like it on my brooch.
They look nothing alike. In any case, please take a look at this. This is the victim's staff, found at the scene of the crime.
Oh, the crystal sphere! It's gone! What? 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 What?
Just what does this mean? If anyone jumped or flew across that bridge that night, it certainly was not Iris after all. She was not wearing a hood. More importantly, the crystal sphere found at the landing site was not hers either. That means the one who flew and dropped the sphere was the victim, Miss Elise Duxenim.
Or alongside another fool on a fool's errand to reach a foolish conclusion. First of all, this sketch, which I prefer to call a scribble, is ridiculous. People cannot fly, thus it is rejected.
You can't do that. I saw it with my own yay!
And this crystal sphere, this is nothing more than a red herring.
You honestly believe that?
Give it some thought, and I'm sure you'll realize it as well, Miss Miles Edgeworth. Elise Duxenim was in her room on the night of the murder. There was no reason for her to go to Dusky Bridge. Therefore, this sphere cannot be related to this case. That is all.
Miss Francesca von Karma, the only people who will accept that explanation are scatterbrains and clowns.
Why are you pointing at me?
The victim's crystal sphere was found near the bridge on the night of her murder. Yet you expect us to believe this has nothing to do with the case?
That crystal sphere. It was probably thrown away at the bridge after the murder.
After the murder?
There is blood in the crystal sphere, isn't there? This naturally suggests that it was thrown away after the murder took place. The killer placed it there to throw the investigation off the scent. Which is the exact same reason that he drew that ridiculous sketch.
What? You mean I'm the killer?
No way! All joking aside, just when did this crystal sphere appear near the foot of the bridge? Unless this can be proven in some way, I refuse to believe this is related to the case.
She makes a valid point. There is no evidence that Elise Duxenim left Hazakura Temple that night. However, if somehow this crystal sphere can be proven to have been dropped before the victim was killed, then this case is going to transform into something else entirely. Your response, Mr. Edgeworth? I want your final opinion on the disposition of this crystal sphere. If it is not related to this case, then this witness who you called will have been nothing more than a monumental waste of time.
Prepare yourself for some very appropriate punishment from Miles Edgeworth.
Can I prove it? Can I prove that the crystal sphere was dropped before the murder took place? Oh. Not really. There's blood on it. Don't think so. Oh. No matter how I look at it, it's not possible. It is certainly strange that the crystal sphere was found near the bridge. But perhaps it is just a curveball from the killer.
Well, Miles Edgeworth seems to have nothing further to say.
So I'm left with no choice. The court sees no reason. What is this? Hey, Edgy, you're a defense attorney, aren't you? If it was Nick standing where you are right now... If it was Nick, do you think he'd give up? No, he'd find the truth no matter what it took, no matter how crazy it seemed. Right. At this moment I'm standing where you should be. Which means there's only one thing to do. Think like you. Your Honor, allow me to prove something to you. I will prove that this crystal sphere is a vital link to solving this case. You will do what?
That look in your eyes. You remind me of Phoenix Wright when he is cornered.
That should come as no surprise. But right now I am Phoenix Wright, and I am indeed cornered.
I order you to present your evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Evidence that proves that the crystal sphere was indeed dropped before the murder.
This crystal sphere, it was half buried in the snow, correct?
That's right. If it hadn't stopped snowing, then it would have been game over. The snow would have totally covered it.
That's all I needed to hear from you, Larry. Your testimony makes one thing quite clear.
What?
When the crystal sphere was dropped, it was snowing, even if it was ever so slightly.
Snowing?
On the other hand, let us look at the scene of the murder. As proven earlier today, there is no snow on the victim's body.
Huh?
Therefore, the crystal sphere must have been dropped before the murder.
What?
Order! 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 On the night of the murder, the victim did indeed go to Dusky Bridge. And there, something occurred that caused this staff's crystal sphere to come loose.
What could that have been?
This sphere, there is some blood on it, isn't there? Allow me to raise a certain possibility at this junction. The real crime scene was near the foot of Dusky Bridge.
The murder didn't...
Blech.
The murder didn't take place in the Hazakara Temple courtyard? Only a fool would suggest such a foolish piece of absolute foolishness.
Just who is the fool? And which part is so foolish, Miss Von Karma?
Have you been paying any attention this whole time, Miles Edgeworth? The sister saw everything. She saw the victim being killed by the defendant in the Hazakara Temple courtyard.
That's not exactly true now, is it? To put it more precisely, what she saw was the murder weapon being removed from the victim's body.
That's the same thing.
No, it isn't. You said it yourself.
Very little blood is actually lost at the moment of a blade's insertion. If you want to talk about when the most blood would be lost from a body, that would be when the blade is removed.
If that statement is the truth, then Dusky Bridge could very easily be the scene of the murder. The murder weapon was not moved, thus there was no bleeding.
You're forgetting one vital thing, Miles Edgeworth. Elise Duxinen's body was found in Hazakara Temple. On foot, it takes 15 minutes to travel from Dusky Bridge to Hazakara Temple. You mean to suggest someone carried the body all that way?
I've made it this far. The only place to take this is to the end. I just need to prove that my version of the events is also perfectly plausible.
Now, the defense is ready. The court would like to have an explanation. Please show us the method by which the victim's body was carried to Hazakara Temple.
On that snowy night, there was one way that a body could have been moved. The snowmobile. As we know, the snowmobile was used that night. It was explained as having been used to dispose of the murder weapon, but it could also have been used to carry a body. Order, yeah.
This is completely unacceptable, Miles Edgeworth. You've dug yourself into your own grave.
What do you mean?
The only one who could have used the snowmobile was the defendant. She's the one who moved the body. Doesn't that put your final nail in your coffin?
You're too late, Francisca von Karma. And in fact, the defense has proven something else entirely. We have shown that this case requires further investigation.
But
where was the victim Elise Duxinen really killed? If her body was moved, whatever for? And finally, just what does this image mean?
do you even need to think about that? Such a creature could never see the truth, let alone describe it.
This witness certainly sits on one of the lowest possible branches of humanity. However, he would never utter a lie that could hurt a girl with whom he is enamored. He drew this, so it is something that actually happened. The defense stands firm on this point.
Edgy, thank you.
That settles it then. I cannot give a verdict under these circumstances. Right. I seem to fulfill my part in this. It is just as I thought. Francesca von Karma, you make a wonderful partner.
Excuse me?
There was one reason and one alone for me being here. To expose the darkness lurking in this case, and then pass it on to Wright.
Really? That's what this was all about? You could have just told me that from the very beginning. Then I wouldn't have had fancy. Ow! Miles Edgeworth, I don't care about what you were here to do. This was my chance to finally grind you under my heel.
A shame that your chance seems to have slipped you by.
What a shame, Francie! This is all your fault. Such a terrible witness. You are an affront to all the legal system. I demand satisfaction!
I cannot believe that the witness's testimony relates to an actual event. However, there has been some sort of answer for the questions it raises. His words here today been the truth or lies? Have his words here today been the truth or lies? Next time we gather in this courtroom, those are the matters that shall be addressed. I am counting on thorough investigations by both the defense and the prosecution. And with this, the rest is up to you, Wright. Court is now adjourned. I'm still up at this hour, reading through the trial record of a certain case. It's the first case my mentor Mia Fey had ever handled in a court of law. Horrifying truth that I refuse to accept is holding me hostage here within its pages. Dahlia Hawthorne. What I've read, I don't want to believe. What is written here? This isn't the Dahlia I knew. After falling into Eagle River, I was somehow miraculously saved. But I ended up catching a cold that seemed to knock me around the world and back. I feel dizzy, my ears are ringing, My throat burns and my head is on fire. But I will recover. I have to recover by this afternoon. To meet with the most ill-tempered witness imaginable. But I know that he will be able to help me with him somehow. Right, are you sure you're well enough to be doing this? You still look a little green in the face. Or maybe Viridian and artist speak. Actually, my fever has gone down quite a bit. What's your temperature now? Only 102.2 degrees. Nothing to worry about. Anyway, I read today's trial record. You weren't bad, Edgeworth. Pretty impressive despite the circumstances. We're not in the clear yet. The main point of contention tomorrow is going to be the murder weapon. Yeah. In the end, the Shishisato did not deliver the deadly blow. Which means there must be another sword hiding out there that we don't know about. Another sword, huh? Don't worry about a thing, pal. I'll dig up the murder weapon myself, or I'll eat my coat. Thanks again, Edgeworth. I'll handle things from here. This is probably for the best. Actually, I was thinking about paying the old precinct a little visit. There's something I want to look into. And that is our client's background, naturally. You mean Iris, sir? I have the feeling that we've met before. All I want is confirmation, one way or the other. And since I probably won't be getting that from you, I'm sorry, Edgeworth. I'll bid you adieu, Wright? Take care. Guess I should get moving too. Why? Do you need to be somewhere? Yeah, I've got to get to work on this bridge, pal. I'm rigging something up so we can get across to the other side. And that's right, Moira's still stuck over at the inner temple. Don't you worry, pal. As soon as it's all set, you'll be the first to know. Thank you, Gumshoe. No problem, pal. Just try not to give me that cough of yours, okay? Right, I'm off. Hang in there, Maya. I'll get you out. I promise. But in the meantime, I've got to continue collecting evidence. Come on, please. It's for art's sake, I swear. There's only one guy I know who could be this persistent and high-strung. But I'm talking about the heroine here. The heroine in my book. It'll make you famous. Ugh.
Enough. Fools, 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 fool who foolishly accepts the foolishness of a fool's fool. Wouldn't you agree, Phoenix Wright?
Me? Wait a second. I know you. You're... Ow!
Your reflexes and mine need to shape up.
My brain's frying like a sunny side up. And you want to grill me over a name? Francie, you can't do that. Even as we speak, Nick's on the brink of death. Also, I'm told.
Pt8 horse. Isn't that one of your American sayings?
No, it's not. And I'm not on the brink of anything. Come on, Nick. Tell her, would you? Tell her she needs to model for my new picture book, Fransie's Whippity Whip Trip. Ah.
Before you ask me to model, learn to give at least semi-coherent testimony.
And before that, you'll have to learn how to live a semi-coherent life, Larry. I don't care what anyone says. I'm telling the truth. I saw what I saw. She flew. I'm telling you. Whoosh. Just like that dude. With the red underwear. Don't think I'm gonna forgive you guys when you come crawling back to apologise. Off he goes.
It's amazing how little has changed with you in the past year, Phoenix Wright.
Have you been in Germany all this time?
That's right. Extending my perfect win record naturally.
Oh joy, sounds like she hasn't changed a bit. Has it really been a year since we first met?
I am Francesca von Karma, the prodigy.
I see.
I gave up a promising career in Germany and came to this country for one sole reason. Revenge.
Francesca was born and raised in Germany and became a prosecutor at the age of 13. Her father was the legendary prosecutor Manfred von Karma. He had a perfect win record for 40 long years, but now he is gone from this world. Don't tell me you still hold a grudge against me because of what happened to your father.
Phoenix Wright, you will fall before me, this I promise. But it will be for my sake, not my father's. Are we clear?
Yes, Crystal.
In truth, I was shocked. I came back to America with the intention of defeating you. Instead, it was my little brother who was leading the defense.
Edgeworth. Come to think of it, Edgeworth was pulled into being a prosecutor by Manfred von Karma as well.
Miles Edgeworth told me something very interesting, you know. He said this case has a special significance to you.
Because it does.
And that's precisely why I'm here. Blech. Your personal involvement will make crushing you into teensy-weensy pieces all the better.
It's probably the fever, but she's so openly hostile that it's almost kind of cute. Oh,
no smirking.
No whipping the sick.
That foolish fool doing such a foolish favor for such a foolishly foolish fool.
Edgeworth.
Make no mistake, Phoenix Wright. I came here for one thing and one thing only, to pulverize you.
Not like I thought you were here to bring me some cold killer X, you know.
I went over the whole case file on the flight over.
You read the whole thing?
Yes. Every last word of every last sentence of every last paragraph. All the ridiculous things you did made it a very interesting read, you know. Attempting to cross a burning bridge. Did you even consider the dangers?
No. The only thought in my mind was, I have to get across.
A fool who doesn't think is more foolish than a fool who foolishly thinks.
Gumshoe said he'd let me know once the bridge was repaired. Maya, she's got to be okay. I just know it. Plus, I need to ask her about what really happened at the temple that night. That was one long sigh. Sister Bikini?
My. I didn't know you were here. How are you doing?
You don't have to pretend to be in a good mood for my sake.
I suppose I've made a terrible mess of things, haven't I? I let Mystic Elise die, and then there's Iris as well.
Mystic Elise? Now that I think about it...
There's an acolyte stuck at the inner temple. And that poor little girl has gone missing too.
That little girl? You don't mean Pearls, do you?
Yes, I'm afraid I do.
She hasn't been seen since the morning after the incident.
Oh, she's missing? Why didn't anyone tell me about this?
I must be getting old. I think I've seriously lost faith in myself.
Are you talking about your performance at the trial today?
You believe me, don't you? I'm not a liar. I would never lie. I know what I saw. I saw Iris pull that sword from Mystic Elise's body that night. I'm certain of it. At least, I was until this morning.
I don't see any sight locks, so she must be telling the truth. So why are you so unsure of yourself all of a sudden?
You know that artist who testified after me?
I saw Iris flying, a white hood fluttering. I felt like I might start flying myself.
When I saw that man testify so fervently about something so impossible, I started to wonder if I had acted just like him when I was on the witness stand.
I wouldn't take that guy too seriously. He's an artist, but all he draws is trouble, and nothing else. If both Bikini and Larry are telling the truth, that can only mean one thing. They both didn't see what they think they saw. On the night of the incident, you met Iris at the inner temple, is that correct?
That's right, I'm sure it was Iris.
Iris claims she was in her room in Hazakura Temple.
I knew I shouldn't have come back here that night.
But because you did, Iris stuck all by herself at the inner temple.
I'm so sorry. The drafts in that place are nothing to shake a stick at. Winter is especially bad.
I'll bet. The training hall looks like it's about to fall down any second.
Eagle Mountain has always been prone to earthquakes, just so you know.
Earthquakes?
Yes. I wouldn't be surprised if the next big one levels the training hall.
Got to get Maya out of there fast.
But still, there's really no need to worry. That area on the other side of Dusky Bridge is isolated like an island.
Like an island? How so?
Well, the only thing on that side of the bridge is the inner temple. No one lives out there, and it's surrounded on all sides by the rivers, all the forest.
I see.
So a criminal would be trapped should they choose to flee in that direction. And as long as the bridge is out of commission, he or she will have to stay there.
That means Maya could be stuck out there with the murderer, and with no way of escaping either.
Oh dear. Yes, I suppose it does.
Please, Gumshoe, get that bridge up faster. I'm curious about a few things. You don't mind answering some questions?
Oh, do you need to know my measurements for your investigation or something?
No. I wanted to know a little more about the victim, Miss Elise Duxinen.
I'm afraid I don't know her waist size, or her bust size for that matter.
No. I'm wondering why she came to stay in a place like this to begin with. I mean, she told us herself that she wasn't here for spiritual training.
My. You make it sound like this place is some sort of dump, Mr. Wright. Mystic Elise was here to soak up the natural beauty of Eagle Mountain, if you must know.
There, you did it again, Sister Bikini. I noticed you always refer to Miss Duxinen as Mystic Elise.
Oh.
Yes. Now why is that? After all, she's not here as an acolyte.
We address all our visitors as Mystic. It makes their experience feel authentic. And anyway, she's older than me. You must respect your elders, you know.
How do you know that? How can you say for sure that she is older than you? Seems Miss Elise Duxinen was no ordinary visitor after all. There's pearls. She was with Miss Dukes and him on the evening of the murder, and now she's vanished. All got to be connected somehow. Why did Pearls have to get mixed up in all this? In this mess?
Please, Mr. Wright. I know you're worried, but try to keep it together.
Oh man. My head's throbbing so bad it's killing me. Pearls. She was with Miss Dukes and him on the night of the murder, remember?
Yes, but I have a temple to run, you know. I was busy preparing for the training. I didn't see the little darling even once after we'd finished eating dinner.
The murder. It didn't take place right in front of her innocent eyes, did it?
According to the detective, she hasn't turned up at her home either.
Come on, keep calm. There's one place left where Pearls could be. She just has to be there. Come on, Gumshoe. Tell me you'll be done with the repairs soon. This is my sister beginning witnessed the incident. It's hard to imagine she was lying on the stand, so maybe there's some clues that have yet to be found. I want to look at it. Hey!
What was that jarring and considerably loud yell?
So this is where you've been. Keep it nice and warm, I see. Detective, have you finished? The bridge? Yeah, I did. I told you I'd let you know.
Well. Then I'll come along with you and...
Sorry, ma'am. You're unauthorised entry. Access is restricted to people involved in the case.
What was that? I'm involved, aren't I? You couldn't get much more involved than me.
Oh yeah, but that's not what... Ah!
It's been a while, Scruffy.
Oh, it's... Miss... Von Karma!
Sister, please leave the investigation to me. My. Well, you certainly seem to have everything under control. I am on your side. I won't do anything you didn't want me to.
As you work to pin the guilt on Iris.
What are you doing about Phoenix, Wright?
Oh, you know...
Silence. I, Francesca Von Karma, will personally guide you through your investigation. So you will follow me.
She's not seriously going to follow me around, is she? Things have certainly become a lot more hectic than before.
They must have commenced with the investigation. Oh, Mr. Nick!
That voice! Pearls!
Mr. Nick! Mr. Nick!
So you were here ever since that night?
I was so lonely. I thought I was going to die. When I woke up in the morning and saw that dusky bridge was gone, I realized I was all alone.
She was all alone?
It must have been very trying for you, little girl.
You're...
I am Francesca von Karma, the prodigy. There's no need to worry now that I'm here.
You're the prosecutor who was so mean to Mystic Maya last year.
Well,
I don't like you. You're nothing but a little girl without your whip. Mystic Maya didn't do anything wrong, but you were so mean. I'll never forgive you.
Looks like Pearl's wells are getting under her skin.
Yo! Why are you whipping me? I didn't even say anything.
you didn't have to. That smile on your lips gave you away.
Anyway, Pearls, aren't you with Maya?
I'm sorry. It's all my fault.
Huh? What are you talking about, Pearls?
Mystic Maya!
Hey, wait, Pearls! She just ran off.
Ow!
That was cruel, Phoenix Wright. To make a little girl cry like that is inexcusable.
What was that all about? I was acting like that. It's giving me the creeps. Guess I'd better take another look around since I finally got a chance. Especially since something about this place seems different from 2 days ago. There's a weird smell coming from that incinerator. The door is also open, almost like it's begging me to look inside. Well, let's see what stunning clue is concealed in here, shall we? Huh? It's empty.
How naive of you, Phoenix Wright.
But it's a bit strange, don't you think, Francesca von Karma? I seem to remember. There was snow on this incinerator the first time I saw it. In other words, someone's been using it to burn something recently.
Listen, Phoenix Wright. It's impertinent to call people by their full name.
I was only copying you.
Phoenix Wright.
What? Would you stop calling me by my full name like that?
Was this once a prosperous port?
What?
Yes. That metal hook is a mooring post for boats, you know.
Oh, that. That's an anchor for one of the wires that is used to hold up the bridge. I think the wire was tied to this one, probably snapped when the bridge burned down. I mean, there's no way there was ever a port all the way up here.
Don't get smart with me, Phoenix Wright.
But I didn't say anything. Whatever.
What's wrong? Why are you so quiet?
Maya, she was supposed to be in here training.
Yet it appears she's nowhere to be seen.
What's that? That strange lock. Wasn't there 2 days ago? This whole room is really giving off some strange vibes.
What do you think this yellowish poster is, Phoenix Wright?
It's a scroll, not a poster. It's a picture of a woman who's actually...
A woman? I don't see any woman here.
There's a different atmosphere in this room since the last time I was here. No, it's not a different atmosphere. It's a different smell. It's gravy.
What's the matter?
The scroll, it's been completely covered in gravy.
Ah, yes. There is a very appetizing smell in the air. But gravy is a type of sauce. So when you run out of paint, you Americans use gravy as a substitute. I see.
No, no one does that. For starters, it stinks. This must be the gravy that we had with the roast on the night of the incident. But why would anyone do this? Why this scroll? This door. When I was here 2 days ago, that weird lock wasn't on it.
Those chains. It's almost as if they're guarding something inside that cavern. I've never seen a lock quite like this before.
I have. I've seen locks and chains just like this before. You know, just like the ones that guard a person's secrets during a psych lock. I wonder if this lock is guarding something too. Dark secrets in a dark cavern. What took you so long? What took you so long? I thought even you would manage to get here faster than this, Mr. Wright. Prosecutor Godot, I didn't know you were here.
Prosecutor?
How come you didn't show up at the trial today? I could ask you the exact same question. I had a cold, so I had something slightly more important than a common cold to deal with. The importance of which is something you have no hope of ever understanding.
Enough. I believe I have the measure of you. You are the very worst kind of prosecutor. What could be more important than a trial?
Who is the wild mare, Wright? This is Miss Von Karma. She was the acting prosecutor in your absence today. Well, I guess I owe you one then. But you can go now, Princess. It's time for the big boys to take the reins.
Just who do you think you are? This is my case.
Hey, Billy. Know your role and shut your mouth. I can't stand a woman like you. I'm only going to say this once. Lady von Wippenberg. Go home.
Phoenix Wright.
What are you hitting me for? You deserve more cracks of the whip than that, Wright. What? You still don't get it, do you? You don't realize that you've set something in motion that you'll never be able to undo. Something different about Godot today. Getting such a strong sense of something from behind that mask of his. Is it anger? Or is it sorrow? You had some important business and that's why you weren't in court? Huh? So, what is it? I've told you once before, but perhaps you don't remember. I've returned from the depths of hell to do battle with you. You see, Wright, I've experienced something most have not. Death. You died? Of course. Being extradited from hell is a tedious affair. The meticulous regeneration and adjustment of all your internal organs is, well, let's just say modern medicine allows us all to live to a ripe old age. Even someone like me. So you mean the mask you wear is this ugly device? I promise it's not a fashion statement, my unenlightened friend. Without this, I can't see your frequently dumbfounded face. I didn't know. My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. Still, I keep this worn-out piece of junk of a body going with regular servicing.
I'm sorry, but you say you experienced death. How is that possible? What happened?
Why don't you ask him? Huh? Me? Yeah, Trite. You should know all about it. You know when my life ended, and who ended it for me.
Well, Phoenix Wright, do you?
I don't know what he's talking about. Although, to be honest, I do feel a light tug at the corner of my memory. I think I do know about how Godot was killed. It will all become clear in due time. Isn't that right, Trite? Earlier, you said I've done something that I can never undo. What do you mean by that exactly? The inner temple here on this side of Dusky Bridge is an isolated island. That's what Sister Beginning said too. And I wonder, Trite, do you know what the police are doing here today? What do you mean? They're searching. Searching for any trace of an acolyte who went missing. Missing? As leader of the search party, I can tell you this with absolute certainty. Maya Fey is not on this side of Dusky Bridge. Huh? But that's impossible. She came here last night and... I won't say it again. The chances of her being here are nil. Excluding, of course, one very unique place. One? Where is that? In the sacred cavern, the entrance of which we are standing at right now. This is the only place that the search party has yet to explore. So they haven't searched that cavern yet, huh? Be aware, though, that the temperature inside frequently falls below freezing. Even if she were in there, the chances of her being found alive are slim at best. No! Which means, Trite, that you sent Maya Fey to her death.
You fool. If that's the situation, why aren't you in there with the search party right now?
You must have blinders on, my equestrian angel. Don't you see the big lock and chains? It's a trick lock. I'm making preparations to open it as we speak. Well, Trite, once again, a woman dies because of you. Once again? What are you talking about? Don't tell me you've forgotten. It was only 2 years ago, after all, when the last unfortunate woman died because of you. Because of me? And do you know who that was? It was Maya Fey's sister. That's right, Mia Fey. Mia? You killed her. No, that's not how it was. It was 2 years ago. Mia Fey was pursuing someone, a man. But she bit off more than she could chew. She made a very dangerous enemy. Yeah, that's one case I'll never forget. But I got that guy, personally. Sure, Miss Fey's murderer was caught. That won't bring her back. Well, no, but you were with her at the time. You and no one else. It was your responsibility. You should have protected her. You say Mia Fey was your teacher. Well then, I'd say you learned nothing, Trite. You robbed her of her life, and now you've let her sister suffer the same fate. I haven't sentenced Maya to death. No.
What is this peculiar looking lock? Why don't we just break it open? It would be a simple matter of...
I'm afraid we can't do that. This area has always been prone to earthquakes. The repeated tremors have weakened the foundations of the training hall. Any excessive force used to break the lock open would, well, let's just say the inner temple in the sacred cavern would be a thing of the past.
Very well. Then dare I suggest the obvious solution of opening it with the key.
Sure. Just show me where the keyhole is on this trick lock. There's no keyhole? That's right. An interesting puzzle, huh? The person who set this lock is the only one who can open it. Then, who was it? Simple. The accused. What? Iris? When an acolyte undergoes training inside the sacred cavern, the attending sister is responsible for locking the entrance. Obviously, the night of the murder was no exception. Maya Fey was to train in there. Sister Bikini did mention it a number of times now that I think about it. She said that Iris was left in charge of supervising the early stages of the training. So Iris, the accused, is the only one who can open this lock. I've arranged for her to be brought here now. Iris is the only person who can open this lock. I hope she gets here soon. Come on in there, Maya. We'll get you out. So, I should be getting back to work. Wait, Godot. How sure about Maya are you? There's no doubt in my mind. She's in the sacred cavern somewhere. It's the only place she could be. You better start praying. You better pray that fiend, a friend of yours, brings the accused back here soon. Edgeworth? Listen up, Trite. There's only one thing I want to say to you before I go. I'll never accept you. Never.
You should choose your friends more carefully, Phoenix Wright.
That's what everyone says. Looks like I don't have much of a choice. So I'll just have to do what I can for her now. I don't know, should I or shouldn't I? Sounds like someone's talking to himself, but where's that coming from? Yeah, I guess I'd better wash that off. That's what I'll do. But I can't do that. I'm a detective. Oh, my brain. This is driving me nuts. Ah!
Is something troubling you, Scruffy?
Please don't whip me like that all of a sudden, sir.
It was merely a simple greeting. A friendly tap on the shoulder with my whip.
So what's up, Gumshoe? Something on your mind? How do you know, pal?
Perhaps you were trying to decide if you wanted to wash that off or not.
How do you know that, sir? Oh, yeah, I nearly forgot. You can't go through that little gate there, okay? You mean the one that says no entry on it? I kind of already snuck in there. Is he trying to be clever or something?
So, what's behind this, Scruffy?
Oh, the kind of garden-like garden. Garden? Yeah, anyway, it's under investigation right now, so keep out. I'm not telling you, I'm asking you, pal. You got me?
Isn't it normally the other way around?
Well, see you later.
So, shall we adjourn to this garden, Phoenix Wright?
Of course. What else would we do? I really want to know what Gumshoe was thinking of washing off.
There's a strange feeling in the air. I wonder what it is.
Strange feeling. Forget about that. What's that strange writing on the stone lantern? Oh! What are you doing here, sir? I thought I said you can't come in here.
Don't you know, Scruffy? A Von Karma will always show up wherever there is a clue. And there are plenty of clues to be found here.
What? What the heck is that? Uh-oh, you spotted it. Oh, pal. Are you kidding me? Couldn't be more obvious.
It's Maya.
Yeah, before you ask, it's written in blood.
You will answer all our questions now, Scruffy, without exception.
Yes, sir. Little lantern and a little statue.
It is certainly a quaint little garden. Oh! What is this huge ball here for?
Oh, I know this one. It's a water bowl, isn't it?
Everything else is completely frozen over. But the ice in this bowl has been broken.
That's true. I wonder if this has any impact on the case. Well, I doused my face earlier with the water in this. I was getting kind of sleepy. Ugh.
Next time you're sleepy, you need only come to me, got it?
Well, this is odd. There's no snow on the ground here. It's almost perfectly rectangle. It couldn't have happened naturally.
Yes. It appears as though someone has carefully cleared away the snow. No doubt it was you, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't me, sir. It was already like that when my men and I got here to start the investigation. It wasn't the police, then who did it? Oh yeah, there's something I need to tell you. Just between the three of us, okay?
What is it?
Top secret. You can't tell anyone, got it?
Understood.
Oh, when I was a kid, I got knocked out of the local wrestling contest, you see. I was so disappointed. I just picked up my mouth guard and cried all the way home. Man, I got into so much trouble when I left it on the couch.
Is that it?
That's it. Ah! Whoever cleared the snow, he must have had a reason. I can't even begin to imagine what that reason could be. There's a charm or something poking up from the snow. Looks pretty old. There's a leather cord tied to it too. Apparently it belonged to the victim.
To Miss Elise Dixon?
Yeah, there was a broken leather cord around the lady's neck. The ends of the cords found on both of the victim and on this charm match exactly. Sounds to me like this little trinket is going to be my ticket to getting some very big answers. So, how's the Inner Temple investigation going? We have the best forensics team in the world working the place.
Forensics team? And what was the outcome of this scientific study?
Nothing, scientifically speaking. This place is as clean as a whistle.
That's simply not good enough. Scruffy, do you think I'll let you get away with that?
Uh-oh. Well, there were a couple of things that bothered me when I first got here, sir.
That stone lantern and the surrounding area that's not covered in snow, correct?
Well, they look kind of fishy to me, you know, scientifically speaking. So I got the lab boys to look them over. The results were... It's kind of hard to say, actually. I guess I better look into them myself. Aunt Maya. Did Mr. Godot tell you yet?
Yes, we heard.
He's got a search party out looking for her. There's nowhere else she could have disappeared to. On this side of Dusky Bridge. All we can do is wait for Mr. Edgeworth to get here, pal.
Edgeworth.
He's escorting Iris, the defendant, over here.
We'll have to wait, since she is the only one who can open the door to the sacred cave.
Oh, I think Mr. Edgeworth wants to talk to you about something too, pal.
Wonder what it is.
Just don't be expecting any good news when you talk to him. When I spoke to him, Mr. Edgeworth sounded so down, I felt like I was drowning.
Sounds pleasant. Maya. So these letters are written in blood.
Yeah. What's worse is it's the victim's blood.
This is Miss Dixon's blood?
We haven't done a detailed analysis yet, but it's looking that way, pal.
Most interesting. Phoenix Wright. I presume you know, don't you? Maya's name is written upside down.
You know what? That was really bothering me too. But I just came up with the answer. The result of my own special gumshoe investigation.
Really? Do tell.
Well, on the night of the murder, that stone lantern was upside down.
Anyway, there's really only one logical explanation as to this mystery. Miss Elise Dixon wrote these letters herself, in her own blood.
You must be joking. That's impossible.
From the writing in the victim's... From the writing in the victim's blood and the other clues left behind, it seems pretty likely that this garden was the scene of Miss Elise Dixon's murder. At least, that's our current theory on how the events took place, pal.
What?
So, Miss Dixon was killed here.
However you want to look at it, that's what people are saying now.
And what's this the bikini saw in the courtyard at the main temple was? Well, what was it? That wasn't the scene of the crime. What did she see?
What do you think, Miss Von Karma?
Surely a special gumshoe investigation would reveal the answer, no?
Wait a sec. Bloody writing and all the other clues here. Someone could have easily set all that up after the murder, right?
Sorry. That's not an option, pal.
Why not?
How quickly you forget, Phoenix Wright. Ever since the incident occurred, this place has been completely inaccessible. Because Dusky Bridge was completely burned out.
I was overseeing repairs to the bridge the whole time. No one came over here before me and my men. Which means no one could have planted all this stuff over here, pal.
I can't think of a counter-argument to that.
I knew it. I should have washed the blood off the lantern as soon as I got here.
This really was the scene of the crime. And I need to figure out exactly what it was that Bikini actually saw.
It seems you have a visitor. Mr. Wright.
Iris, I'm really glad to see you.
Goodall managed to mobilize the place by claiming a state of emergency.
Not him again.
Never mind him. Gotta hurry and unlock the sealed cavern, sacred cavern.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. It's my fault someone so important to you is locked in there. Mr. Edward, can we finish our conversation later?
Alright. Let's hurry to the inner temple then. I'll see you later, Wright. Wait, Edgeworth! I'm coming with you guys! Sorry, Wright. I can't allow you to come with us. What? I hate to be the one to break it to you, but my affair is in a rather delicate position. What do you mean by a delicate position? This isn't simply a rescue operation, Wright. It's also an investigation. That being the case, we can't allow members of the public to interfere. Come on, Edgeworth. If anything happens, you'll be the first to know. Please understand, Wright. It's Maya!
Mr. Wright, all that matters is that Mystic Maya is rescued, correct? Listen to the voice of reason for a change, Phoenix Wright.
From now on, consider anything beyond Dusky Bridge to be off limits. Where are we going now? Excuse us.
This is no time to be standing around, Phoenix Wright. Aren't there other things that demand your attention?
She's right. Thanks for reminding me. Sister Bikini looks like she's shrunk some since I last saw her.
Don't be so rude, Phoenix Wright. What's wrong, Sister Bikini? My. Hello, you two. How are you doing?
From the sound of that sigh, I guess she's still pretty down.
Iris was just here, you know. She was accompanied by that handsome crimson-clad prince.
She talking about Edgeworth?
It was just a courtesy call. I wasn't allowed to talk with her at all. Oh dear, it's all my fault that this has happened. Poor Iris. She was worried about my back. Would you believe? What have I done to her? Only what you had to do, sister. You bravely and truthfully testified about what you saw. There's no shame in that. And we'll see to it that your testimony wasn't made in vain. Well, I don't hear anyone else saying that. Mr. Bluesuits doesn't seem to share your opinion, I see.
Huh? Me? Oh yes, you did great, Sister Bikini. Absolutely spectacular.
You two are the only ones who've said that to me.
Can't shake the feeling that I just became a shield to a shrew.
Do you have a problem, Phoenix Wright?
Sure, she was brave to testify so truthfully like that. But I know she's still hiding something. Guess it's time to break those sight locks of hers. Sister Bikini, the truth is becoming increasingly clear to me. I'm convinced that Miss Elise Dukesonham had a special significance to this temple. As to why she had a special significance, I believe it has to do with her true identity.
What on earth are you talking about? She was... Mystic Elise was an author. Just an author of picture books.
To be honest, I had my suspicions almost immediately after I met her.
Suspicions?
Yes, but I didn't have any evidence to support my theory, though. But now I do. This piece of evidence proves Miss Dukesonham's true identity. Miss Dukesonham had this charm with her at all times.
Where did you...
This isn't some cheap good luck charm either.
Then, what do you think it is, Mr. Wright? What could a talisman like that possibly mean?
It's a talisman, is it? Interesting.
Oops.
This thing speaks volumes about who Miss Dixon really was. This talisman and one other item unequivocally prove Miss Dixon's true identity. The painting is obscured by this gravy stain at the moment. But this scroll shows the master of the Curane channeling technique. The crest at the top is a sign of that honourable title. The very same crest that adorns the talisman the victim carried with her. This crest is reserved for the master of Curane.
Who on earth told you that nonsense? I've got no idea what you're talking about.
The new master, Maya Fey, told me.
What? You mean that acolyte is Misty Fey's
Daughter? Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
In fact,
Since her eldest daughter passed away, Maya is Misty Fey's sole successor.
Mystic Maya. Mystic Elise graced us with her presence about a week ago. When she showed me the talisman with that mark on it, well, I nearly fainted. No one had seen her since she disappeared 17 years ago, after all. What is the significance of this talisman, sister? The Curane talisman. It's the symbol of the master of Curane. The bearer must carry it with them always until their death. Until their death?
So, Elise Dixon was really Maya's mother, huh?
She was Misty Fey, the master of the Curane channeling technique.
Truth comes out at last. Looks like we're making some headway here.
Tell me, sister. After 17 years, why did she choose to show herself now? Because something happened that called her out of hiding.
What happened?
Well... What's happening?
Can't be.
Earthquake! Oh my goodness! The inner temple! This kind of tremor might... The inner temple? The sacred cavern in the training hall. It might very well cave in.
What? Maya!
It seems to have passed.
Well, we can't just stand here and do nothing. Let's go!
But where?
To the inner temple, of course. Where else? Sister Bikini, we'll finish this later, alright?
Of course. You run along now. People may have been hurt. I must get some first aid kits ready. Come on then, Phoenix Fight. They won't buy you for entering as long as I'm with you.
Thank you. Right at that moment, I had the worst feeling in my gut. We just had an earthquake. I wonder if he's alright.
You look worried. Are you thinking about Miles Edgeworth?
Come on, let's go. We've got to hurry to the inner temple and... Right. What are you doing here? How could I have...
How did you expect us to understand? How do you expect us to understand if you don't speak up?
Yo, hey, why am I the one getting whipped? She's gone. Oh. The defendant, Iris. She's gone.
Gone where?
She fled. She escaped.
What?
So, it was just now, during the... It's easy to see Edgeworth's one and only weakness. His fear of earthquakes. I should have known better than to escort the defendant alone. As soon as the ground started shaking, everything went dark before my eyes and I stupidly passed out. That incident haunts you to this day, doesn't it? It's no excuse for letting the suspect get away. Can't believe I let it happen. Right, the inner temple area is a dead end, so she could have only escaped to this side.
We haven't seen her.
Then we need to get a manhunt underway now, and search Eagle Mountain from top to bottom. Wait, Edgeworth. Have you thoroughly checked the inner temple yet? Don't be ridiculous. Why would I? The inner temple is like an island. There's no way to escape but to cross. No, that's not it. Iris isn't the type of person to run away, Edgeworth. What are you talking about? Sister Bikini mentioned something when we were with her. She said that the sacred cavern might have caved in because of the quake.
Then you think Iris might have gone to the inner temple to check on the situation?
Listen, Edgeworth. I'm sure she's at the inner temple. Manhunt is not necessary. Right. Let's not waste any more time. We need to get to the training hall Sacred Cavern now. Alright, let's go. Fortunately, the Sacred Cavern hadn't caved in, but what we found was something none of us could have ever expected. How can there be?
Even more locks.
What is the meaning of this? Iris? Iris, please tell me. What the hell is going on? How much more is left? How much more is left? How much more is left? A lot. The very long scene. And there's the trial and all that stuff, and it's gonna make for right. Longer than I want it to be. Oh well. In that case, we'll finish it tomorrow. I was going to try and finish it today, but that ain't going to happen. So that will be all for now. Bye.